Welcome to PR Powerhouse, helping female entrepreneurs to get in the press and to gain PR. I'm Jo Swan, and I'll be sharing how to harness the power of the media to boost your credibility and business visibility, no matter what stage in business you're at. Because I'm on a mission to show you that PR is not just for the big boys. In this show, you'll learn how to reach out to journalists and own your place in the press, because you are ready to become a PR powerhouse. Hello, how are you? Hope you are well. Hope you have had a lovely weekend and you are all set for a great week. I feel very inspired and very motivated after attending an incredible networking event last week with a gorgeous set of women. It was called the Flamingo Business Experience, which just sounds fun, doesn't it? From day one, it just sounds like it's going to be amazing. And it absolutely was. It was business development, learning, hanging out, having fun, laughing. Oh God, just so much connection was made in that room. It was so brilliant. And it really lifted me. It really made me realize, God, how much days like that matter and how much coming together as women in business matters. Like, I'm a huge advocate for in real life stuff. I'm a huge advocate for community stuff. And I think I knew that about myself, and I knew that I feel better when I'm around people. I feel more energized, I feel more inspired, I feel more creative, I feel more driven, I feel more passionate than ever about what I'm doing. And yet, day to day, I still spend the majority of my time sat in my office by myself, and it made me realize that that's just not the way that I want to work. So a few little reflections going on. Absolutely going to up the office time that I spend with the team, like 100% we've already decided that. Absolutely going to make sure I get out and do more of this stuff because I just adore it. And actually, if anyone's listening and you run events and you would like me to come and speak, because I was actually a speaker at this event, please let me know, because I just adored sharing my knowledge and being in person in a room where I could really excite and engage people. I just loved that. So if you do run any events or any retreats, do shout out, just give me a DM and see if it's something that we can make happen, because I loved being a part of that event in that way, as well as being there as a guest to sort of soak in other people's advice and knowledge too. So what I thought I would do today is actually share with you some of the knowledge that I shared in that room. And it was a presentation that was all around celebrating you and making yourself PRable. And it was aimed at women in business. It was aimed at women who aren't necessarily thinking that they're ready for PR, who aren't necessarily believing that they've got a story. So I just took them through a few key points, a few key questions to think about to get yourself in the mindset that you are PRable, and to prepare yourself and to get all of the foundations in place so that actually you can start to be in a position to be PRable. So that's what I'm going to do with you today. I'm going to run through the points that I covered in my presentation. So we're going to dive into 6 key questions that I asked these guys. So actually, before I dive into the questions, let me just set the scene a tiny bit, because I didn't just launch straight into the questions in my presentation. I did set the scene about actually what PR looks like, what journalists are after, and why you do have a story. So you've heard me say all of this before, but let's just start there for a second. So when it comes to you being PRable, you have to remember that first of all, you 100% are, because you are exactly what the media needs and is looking for. So the media are looking for people, human interest stories that can inspire and that can motivate and that can educate. So when you're considering whether or not you are PRable, what you need to be thinking about is how you can share something that is going to be of benefit to others. Okay, so PR, because it's not paid for marketing content, has to do a job. It has to serve a purpose. It has to be helpful and useful to the readers. And there's lots of ways that can work. So it could be that you are inspiring and motivating. It could be that you are educating and knowledge share. And it's just about thinking about the emotion that you want to evoke in what it is that you share, because that's really what PR is about. It's about having a reaction, the people that are reading the piece having a reaction to the content that you're putting out. The other thing, as a little reminder, is that when you're thinking about taking the steps to get yourself in the press, you have to understand that it's your responsibility to make yourself as press ready as possible, because the journalists don't want to have to be digging around to find your story. They don't want to have to be asking you a million questions to get to the bottom of what it is that you can share. So you have to do the background work for them. You have to do the foundational work for them. So I did talk to the guys in the room about preparing yourself for this, of really making sure that you've got your story straight, of really making sure that you understand actually what parts of your story you need to share and why that is going to be valuable. So I think if I take you through now the 6 questions, I'll help you build that information up. Okay, so the very first question I asked people was, who are you? And I'm laughing because I was faced with a sea of faces with big eyes looking at me, kind of going, oh my God, you've dived in with like a massive question. Like that is like a life question. Who am I? Like, who am I in this world? And it went down a bit like that. People was like, oh Jesus, like that's big. But you know, what I was meaning by that was, who are you in a sense of how you describe yourself? So when you're describing yourself to a journalist, if they were to say, please introduce yourself, they're not just going to want to know, oh, hi, I'm Jo Swan from Chocolate PR. That is not telling them who I am. That is telling them my name and my business name. That's not telling them who I am. So if I had to explain to a journalist who I am in a context of what they want to know, they want to know that actually, I'm a 40-something-year-old mum of 2 who is an ex-journalist, who's an award-winning PR, who has worked with people like Yo Sushi and Whistles and the NSPCC, who's been in the PR industry for 20 years, who has now transitioned to support female entrepreneurs and to use her passion and her purpose to actually help women be elevated and to share their voice. So who am I? The question of who am I is more in that sense of all of those different elements that kind of make up me. So who are you in that sense? What could you say? How could you describe yourself in a way that sort of sets the scene for who you are as a person, to get a journalist to understand the kind of elements that make you up that could be interesting to them? So when you're thinking about that, you're thinking about your credentials, you're thinking about your experience, you're thinking about what it is that you can showcase and highlight that is going to make you stand out. Okay, so the next question I asked was, what's your theme? So what's the thing that is so important to you? What's your topic? What's your subject matter? What's your area of expertise? So what theme do you want to be associated to? So this could be mindset related, it could be well-being related, it could be around empowerment, it could be around diversification, it could be around anything. It's what's your theme that you want to speak around, okay? So the more specific you can make that, the better, but you do need a kind of a broad starting point. So think about what your theme would be so that you can communicate that really clearly to the journalist. And also this helps you when you're thinking about where to pitch your press activity, because you're going to be super, super targeted and you're going to be basing it around this particularly niche area. So for me, obviously my themes are PR, but I take that a level deeper and it's around actually PR for empowerment. So what I talk about is using PR for empowerment, PR for championing, PR for celebrating. So that's kind of my content theme. Those are the kinds of things that I would want to be writing around. So what's your theme? And that is quite an easy question because it's quite top line at this stage. Okay, when we move on to the next question, what I was asking was, what you are bringing to the party? Okay, so what is it that combines those two things? So combines who you are, the subject matter that you're addressing, and then we take it a little step further and we ask, what are you bringing to the party? And what I want you to think about here is actually what impact are you making with your work? So what is the point of what you're doing? Like, what change are you trying to make with your work? What are you actually bringing to the party by doing what you're doing? So this is like the longer term stuff. So it could be that you're trying to make a change. So a lot of our coaching clients have big long-term goals and they want to make a change. They want to actually change stereotypes. They want to change generational patterns. They want to break chains. They want to change habits. They want to change statistics about the amount of women who suffer from stress, for example. They want to make a change. So what change do you want to make? The change that I want to make is I want more women to have a voice in the media, and I want more online business women to have more of a mainstream voice in the press, because I don't feel like we are represented in the world of business. So that's 100% a change that I want to make. I also want more small business owners to feel empowered and to feel that PR is an option for them and that they can use it as a leveler. They can use it as a platform to actually get their voices heard, because PR is so powerful for that. But it's ironically the smaller businesses who need that more that don't use it. It's the big businesses that know how to play the game. So I want to change that. So that's what I'm bringing to the party. I'm bringing knowledge and ways of helping and supporting clients to actually get towards making these changes. I'm also, as you know, particularly passionate about working with imposter syndrome. So women who have got imposter syndrome, really helping people overcome that and use the power of PR to build their own confidence and conviction in what it is that they've got to say. So that's something else that I feel like I'm particularly bringing to the party. So what you have to look at is what you're doing differently in your industry that makes you stand out, that gives you an edge, that gives you a little bit of a fast forward on your competitors, and that makes you appealing and attractive to journalists. Okay, now the next question that I asked was, what's your party trick? So you might notice a bit of a theme here. There was a bit of a party theme that I was connecting it all together with. So what's your party trick? So by this I mean, what will people remember you for? What are you known for? What's the thing within your business that you really are recognized for? So this could be, it could be a certain way that you do things. It could be something different and unique that you've developed within your business. It could be a signature method, for example. It could be a certain practice that you have. So for us, one of our party tricks is our media bios, because our media bios are something that are absolutely adored by all our clients. They're adored by the journalists, and it just feels like we've sort of struck gold in terms of a format and a method that works for everyone. So we're quite well known for our media bios. People come to us because they want to get their story straight. They want to get it written in a way that is appealing and attractive to journalists, and that is a proven method that gets them national media coverage. So we could say one of our party tricks is actually, creating absolute kick-ass media bios. And that's an element of our work that we've created that is a bespoke way of doing things that's based on my journalistic experience and us knowing what the media need and want. So what's your party trick? Because if you can establish the thing that is very unique in your business, that is super powerful to your clients, then that's really, really strong in terms of content as well. So you could use elements of that signature system, of that practice, of that process that you take people through, and you could use that as some PR content. You could use it as knowledge sharing content to actually help people understand a little bit about that process. Now, you're not going to give away the whole process as part of the PR piece, but you can certainly touch and tease upon it. And that is a really useful way of bringing people into your world, engaging them, and then getting them to want more. Okay, the next question I asked, why are you so passionate about inviting people to your party? Okay, why are you so passionate about inviting people to your party? So this comes down to, ultimately, why you're doing what you're doing. Why are you so passionate about this? What is it that is driving you to do this work? What is it that is really burning inside of you that makes you want to make this change happen? So this is relating to your personal situation. This is relating to your personal journey. This is relating to your life map. This is relating to, all of those things that have joined together to make you end up here right now doing what you're doing. So that's really what I want you to consider with this question. Why are you so passionate about this? Often people just drift through their businesses sprouting out marketing jargon about this is what I do, this is who I help, my business is amazing, and they don't touch upon enough in any detail quite often. Why they're so passionate about this? What is it that is driving them to do this? What is that story that has got you to this point? What are the things that have made this just an absolute no-brainer? This is something that you absolutely have to do. Why are you so passionate about bringing people together in this way and creating this kind of change? And sometimes it's really obvious. Sometimes it feels really natural to connect your story to your business in that way. And for others, this is a piece that they find really difficult. So if you're finding this hard, then don't worry, you're not alone. Actually, sometimes it's really common that people just dive into their businesses. They just dive into talking about the products and services and talking about the impact that you're making, but don't really explore the reason why you're doing it and what's got you to this point. But from a media perspective, this part is so important because this is your mission. This ties into your mission of why you're doing what you're doing. And the media love people on missions, because what they don't love are people who are just out to promote their business. They don't particularly love business owners because they don't want to be promoting your business. What they get behind is your mission. What they get behind is your passion and your purpose to make a change or to educate or to inspire or to motivate. Like I said at the beginning, it's all about creating some sort of emotion and evoking some sort of response to your content. So why are you so passionate about inviting people into your party? Why are you so passionate about doing what you do? That is a bit of a soul searching question if you've not done it. And you have to do this work. You have to get to those answers to be fully PRable, because to be able to stand behind your mission, you've got to give a bit of you. You've got to be vulnerable. You've got to be prepared to share. You've got to be prepared to let people into your story and your journey so that they can understand, why you give a shit, so they can understand why you are so passionate about this, so they can see that you have been in their shoes, and so that they can trust you as well. So this is super important. Super important to build trust with your ideal clients. And the way that you build trust is you show them that you understand them. You show them that you get where they have been, and you create empathy with them. So if you want to be this guide who is taking your ideal client through a process and a transformative process, then they need to trust you as that guide. And to be able to trust you as that guide, they need to connect with you. And empathy is a really fabulous way of doing that. Okay, and the final question that I asked this amazing group of women was, why is it important that people join you? And people found this question a little bit tricky, actually. So what do I mean by this? Why is it important that people join you? What I'm asking here is, what's the bigger impact of your work? So what's the bigger impact of you making these changes with these clients? What's the sort of societal impact that that's going to have? So if it's going to change generational patterns, that's pretty worth doing, right? If it's going to give more equality, if it's going to provide more of equality and a broader breadth of discussions and conversations out there in the world, then that's something that's worth fighting for, isn't it? If it's going to reduce, let's say, eating disorders, if it's going to reduce stress, if it's going to reduce mental health challenges, that's something that is worth fighting for. That's something that it's worth getting behind that message. So why is it important that people join you? Why is it important that you create this movement with your work? So the bigger picture and the bigger question there is thinking about that on more of a societal scale, that each one of your clients is a part of a jigsaw, and by you working with all of these people, you're actually creating a different picture to what is out there in the world at the moment. And that's important. It's important that those of us who have got a gift, that those of us who have got a talent, that those of us who are driven by a passion to make a change, that we use these gifts and these talents in a way to make an impact on the world. Like, we can absolutely make massive changes with our work, but only if we recognize it and only if we're very conscious about the process. So why is it important that people join you? Gets you thinking actually about that bigger picture. And that's, again, super important from a media perspective, because it shows that you are not just working in isolation, that you're not just doing what you're doing because you're bothered about your bottom line, that you're bothered about your business, you're bothered about the societal problems, you're bothered about the world in general, you're bothered about leaving the world a better place than how you found it. You know, if you're bothered about this stuff, then journalists become bothered about you. And that's what I'm trying to teach you with this little quick insight in terms of some of the steps that you can think about that make you more PRable. Okay, so as a little wrap up, what I've asked you is, who are you? Like, who are you based on your credibility, based on your qualifications, based on what you're trying to do, based on your experience? Who are you? How would you describe you? What's your party theme? What's your content theme? So what is the thing that you want to talk about? What's your subject area and topic? What are you bringing to the party with your work? What change are you here to make? What impact will you make with what you are teaching? What's your party trick? What is the thing you're going to be remembered for? Have you got something unique, or do you need to develop something? What's the thing that's making you different from your competitors? Why are you so passionate about inviting people to your party? Why? Why do you care? What is it that is driving you deep down from your gut? Why are you doing this? And why is it important that people join you? Why is this movement that you're trying to create so crucial for the wider impact, for the bigger picture out there in the world? Why is that so important? If you can answer these questions, if you take a bit of time to think about these questions, you are going to become more PRable. And you're also going to become more engaging generally with your ideal clients in the rest of your marketing and how you put yourself out there. So one of the things that you're going to have to do to answer some of these questions is you're going to have to think about what parts of your story that you want to share, what parts of your story you really must share to connect with that ideal client. And that comes back to thinking about where they are, what they're worried about, what they're concerned about, what they're stuck with. And then you answering those questions is some of your PR content. You telling the parts of your story that connect with those ideal clients is some of your PR content, because PR does have a purpose. It has a purpose to inspire and to motivate and to get your ideal clients to take action to come and work with you. So by answering these questions, you're making yourself more PRable and you're making yourself more attractive to the people that actually need you. So I think that's a great reason to spend a little bit of time thinking about these questions, thinking about if you are actually communicating this kind of information, or if you are too top line in your marketing and your approach to how you communicate with people. And actually you need to dig a little bit deeper and you need to reveal a little bit more of you. I would say quite possibly that is the case because it usually is with the majority of people. So have a little think about how you could just scrape back that mask a little bit more, how you could give a little bit more you, and I promise you, you will be rewarded for it. Okay, I'm going to leave you there this week. I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous week. If you have any insights, if you have any light bulb moments, because lots of the women in the room did when we went through this process, then please do share them with me. Please share them with me on Instagram, actually. Follow me at JoChockPR and send me a little message if you have listened to this and you have had some light bulb moments. I would love, love, love to hear from you. I also just want to let you know and remind you that we have just also opened up some options to work with us on a very entry-level scale. So we've just started a 4-week program called Story Steps, which is a new 4-week fast-track kind of way of getting your story straight. So if you're struggling with answering these questions and you would like a bit of support, then it might be something for you to consider. It starts on the 30th of May. So if you're listening to this real time, then there's absolutely still time for you to join us. If you're listening to it a little bit further down the line, then you will be able to join Story Steps at a point wherever you are in your business and whatever time of year. We are trying to make it an evergreen program. So just drop me a DM if it's after the 30th of May. But in fact, drop me a DM anyway, because if you want to join us then on this round, then you also need to get in on the action. So drop me a DM with saying story steps on Instagram if you would like to find out more about this. But it's a 4-week program. It's recorded modules so that you can access the content, and then it's live Q&As for 4 weeks. You have access to myself and my team to help you in crafting your story, in crafting your messages, in really getting to a point where you're strong on your story, and you can use that then across your social, and you can also use it obviously then to start to introduce yourself to the world of PR. So that's something that I'm super, super excited about. It's on an absolute bargain price as an entry-level offer. So do ask me more if you would love to find out about that, and I would love to support you. Okay, have an amazing, amazing week, and I will see you later. Bye. Thank you for listening to PR Powerhouse with me, Jo Swan. If you want to feel empowered and supported and excited about getting in the press, come and join us in our free community over on Facebook at PR You Can Do It. I would absolutely love to see you there so I can help you take those next steps to getting in the media.